That's it. After 22 years, 1,705 games, 3 Premier League titles, countless FA Cup and Community Shields, plenty of Carabao Cup final defeats, plenty of euphoric moments, moments of dismay, disaster and ultimately heartbreak, a Champions League final, devastating defeat, a few tantrums, the odd water bottle kick, and plenty of times and a collection of coats that stacked up in the wardrobe and no lessons for how to zip up your coat on a rainy Tuesday night in Stoke. And that is that for Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger is no longer the Arsenal manager. His final game as Arsenal manager has been concluded. Arsenal's final Premier League game of the season has been completed, and Arsenal's final game of the season is done. This season is done, dusted, and it is now all over. And this is the final match review of my Analysing Arsenal series. Huddersfield are our opponents today at the John Smith Stadium. Huddersfield taking on Arsenal on the final day of an absolutely thrilling Premier League final day. Not the most thrilling Premier League season, may I add, but all in all and overall it has been a tremendous final day that has capped off in Arsene Wenger registering his final win as Arsenal manager. Arsenal at long last have an away win in 2018. We have some away points on the board for 2018 and we can finish the season off with a win. Closure for Arsene Wenger, closure for us fans, closure for the players, and now the new era can begin. And we are here to say thank you, Arsene Wenger, for everything that you have given us to Arsenal Football Club. It has been 22 years. Arguably, there's been a lot more sour moments, and it was kind of 10 years of greatness, and then the last kind of decade has kind of slightly dipped, and these last couple of years have been very troubling and worrisome, and very, very stressful, and quite depressing, really. You know, Arsene Wenger should have gone a long, long time ago, but he's finally done and dusted. He's been given praise, accolades, and our Premier League season, despite how poor it has been, has finally come to an end. I'm going to be reviewing the match, and I was going to do a match preview of Huddersfield against Arsenal in yesterday, beg your pardon, but I just didn't really get around to doing it. I had lots of videos to edit, and I'm working on a multitude of projects at this very moment, so I'm going to quickly just talk about what I was going to say in my match preview, because it kind of embeds quite nicely onto my match review. And just sit back, relax, for the final time this season, my final match review is about to get underway, and really kind of, you know, many people will say that this game doesn't really have any, you know, impotence and there's nothing really at stake. You know, Arsenal have secured 6th place. You know, we're not going to be finishing in 5th, we're not going to finish in 7th. 6th place was done, dusted and secured last weekend after our, you know, farewell to Arsene Wenger from the Emirates. You know, we already had got that and secured 6th place really, so we weren't going, you know, any higher or any lower. Huddersfield themselves have, you know, this was their Premier League survival party, really. They had, you know, got the business done. They had secured Premier League safety from an absolutely tremendous point that they picked up against Chelsea. So really, this is just one of those end-of-season games that really haven't got anything, you know, riding on it. There's not really anything at stake. But there was. And for me, what I've just said right at the start of the video, what was at stake today was closure. Closure was what was at stake. And not just for Arsene Wenger, because it was his final, you know, Premier League game, final game as Arsenal manager, and not just our final game in our entire season, but, you know, it's closure. Closure for him, really, because, you know, he can walk away from Arsenal Football Club with his final game being a win. You know, 1-0 to the Arsenal, quite a fitting kind of result to get in your final encounter being the Arsenal manager. But, you know, he can walk away with a win, you know, win under his belt. The stupid stat of, you know, not having an away point in 2018 has now been dissipated. And, you know, for us as fans, you know, we finished on a win, we finished on a high note, we finished on a positive, and we can go into next season, you know, with a fresh, clean slate. We can wipe the slate clean, we can welcome in a new manager, new players, and all of that good stuff. And, you know, it gives us closure to Arsene Wenger, and also, you know, for these players, you know, because they're still basically, they're fighting, really, because nobody knows, you know, they don't know their future. They don't know what manager is about to come in. They may do behind the scenes, it's just been revealed to the public yet, but nobody knows, you know, from the outside general world, the journalists, you know, us as fans, you know, nobody knows who the next Arsenal manager is going to be. And I don't even think the next Arsenal manager probably even knows he's going to be the next Arsenal manager. And if he does know that he's the next Arsenal manager, then he will be looking at the last couple of games and already starting to make plans and decisions about who he wants to keep and who he wants to chuck in the bin. So, you know, for me as a player, you want to play to kind of the 100, 110%, then, you know, play to the best that you possibly play, because, you know, you're trying to showcase the new manager that you deserve to stay and wear the Arsenal shirt with pride. and should you not do that, you're going to be out of the door. And a lot of players, a lot of deadwood in that football club that need to go really. So there was importance really there. Yeah, and once again for the new manager, you want to come in with a fresh, clean slate. You don't want to have any of the problems that are piling up for Arsene Wenger. When you come in as the new Arsenal manager, you want to be, having no problems whatsoever. The only, decisions that you got is what players to keep and what players to get rid of and what new players to bring in. You don't want to have any of kind of the problems that the squad had and the continual kind of problems that Arsene Wenger and the players kind of were having over the season. You kind of want to just come in there with no strings attached. And had we not picked up a point today or even a win, if we got another loss, which would have been our 8th consecutive away defeat, and we were looking that we were the only side in England's top 4 divisions to not have not just a win but a single point away from home. We failed to obtain a single point away from home or a win in 2018, and we were out of Europe's top 5 elite leagues. We were the only side to not pick up any kind of positive result away from home. So for us it was all about getting that kind of statistic out of the way, because you don't want the new manager coming in and constantly being reminded of the fact, you need to win today away from home, because if you don't, you're not gonna, you're gonna keep getting reminded of not having an away point or win in 2018, Stanley. But we've got rid of that. We've sorted out that problem. It's still, it's been a very, very bad season for Arsenal. I've been very, very angry, and I'll come on to this, in a moment before I actually get on with what happened in the game. But it's not been a great season whatsoever. This again just papers over the cracks, but it's a new era. Wenger's going. Lots of the backroom staff are also exiting alongside Arsene Wenger, and you can be quite sure and be rest assured that a lot of players are not going to be at Arsenal this time next year. So there's a lot of change, and there's a lot riding on Arsene Wenger's successor, and there's a lot of there's a wave of optimism flowing in with Arsenal right now about who the next manager is going to be, what players are going to be brought in, what players are going to leave, and all what are Arsenal's objectives for next year really. So with that being said, this is, again, it's all about closure. This is a great way to send off Arsene Wenger in style. And, in terms of the game, it was a typical Wenger style performance, really. And, there are 2 sides to typical Wenger performances, or 3, shall we say. The first one is that we batter whoever is in front of us, home or away. Once Arsenal get going and when they're in the right mood for it, they absolutely rip every single side that is standing their way. And on their day, they could be absolutely anyone. The passage of play that they can put together, the clinicalness that they, dispose, and the way that they just throw balls and how they can score goals, how they can seal off opponents, and all of that kind of good stuff is exactly why Arsene Wenger got the job in the first place. And on Arsenal's day, they are absolutely electric. You've then got the classic Wenger ball, not playing particularly well, really only having one chance that we kind of convert, and the whole saying 1-0 to Arsenal came from Arsenal not particularly playing very well, and this was evident in Arsene Wenger's early years of being a very, very tight, cagey and close affair, which then allows Arsenal to get one chance and a little bit of quality, and the quality that they kind of hold up front seals the deal and gets the job done. And once we get that goal, we hold on to the win. And today's game falls into the second category. Or you get the third category of just Arsenal getting absolutely ripped apart. Manchester City, Manchester United early. Well, actually, no, not even Manchester United, a bad example. But Manchester City, Liverpool. I'm trying to think who else we've been absolutely ripped apart by this season. There's been a lot. There's been too many teams that I can't actually think of one. But the type of performances where Arsenal don't really turn up. You particularly away from home, you think of like Newcastle, Bournemouth, Watford. Just to name a couple. Swansea, another one really, where Arsenal just don't really turn up and get absolutely battered. Leicester earlier in midweek in our first of 2 away final performances. We don't turn up, we don't really do anything, we don't cause any kind of major problems, and we get killed essentially, and incidentally going on the counter attack. But today, Huddersfield kind of did dominate. We kind of, soaked up a lot of their, pressure. They were just kind of, looking to try and spoil Arsene Wenger's party. We didn't really create or cause too many problems for Huddersfield. Ospina made a couple of really good saves, as did Huddersfield keeper, which is Lossie. Lossie is the name. They went with a back 5, so they went with, 5 at the back. Aaron Moy, Hogg, and Ince in the middle of the park. Pritchard and Mounier, who came off for Deportiva. I think I said that name right. We went with kind of a fairly kind of strong side, really. Obviously, Long Koscielny's out with Achilles, so Rob Holding came in. Koscielny will be out and probably be out for a considerable amount of time, really. Mustafi, Bellerin, Kolasinac. There is Nacho Monreal. Yeah, he came on. He started on the bench. You had Xhaka, Ramsey, and Iwobi. No Mesut Ozil or Jack Wilshere. Both of them were out of the squad today. And then we had Mkhitaryan, Lacazette, and Aubameyang on the left. Lacazette up front, Mkhitaryan on the right hand side. And really, the only goal that we did score came from just winning the ball back in the middle of the park. Lacazette and Mkhitaryan linked up, beautifully. They switched it out. Aaron Ramsey made a daring ball and made a great run. Lacazette with a daring ball. Ramsey made a great run down the left-hand side. It went into him, and then he just slotted it across goal, Aubameyang, to put the ball into the back of the net. Very similar to the goal that he scored against Leicester City and also against Burnley. And, he's been a wave of fresh air. I'm really, really excited. If we can get, work on our defence and get a better CDM and a better goalkeeper, our attack is frightening, and, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has really as he's started his Arsenal career, I think he's reached 10 Premier League goals in 13 Premier League games. So, the return is very, very impressive, and I'm very, very impressed and excited to see him. I was hesitant to see how well he was going to do, and in the really big games when it really has mattered, he hasn't really, stepped up to the plate. You can't really, fault him for Europa League because he was cup tied, he didn't play in the Europa League. But he looks a fantastic player there, and particularly him and Lacazette up front, with Mkhitaryan out wide, Ozil in behind. Should we keep Mesut Ozil? And at the minute I'm on the fence with Mesut Ozil. It was a good performance really. Once we got the goal, we held on. Huddersfield created a lot of decent chances really, and they created some nice passages of play. And without David Ospina, we would have been undone really. We had a couple of really, really good saves. But in the end, we get a win. Arsene Wenger, signs off his Arsenal career with a 1-0 win away from home. Like I said, we break the, this awful away statistic that we were, had the absolute pleasure of, having and holding and confirming that with a win to precipitate that awful away statistic is very, very good. And in terms of the season, and I'm going to be doing a proper Arsenal season review, but it's not been a great one. I've not particularly enjoyed this season. There was optimism going into the start of the season. We never really got going, even from the first game of the season, beating Leicester in the the 86th, 87th minute to win 4-3, and then defeats coincidentally to Stoke City and Liverpool, and we never really got going. We had a decent spell in September, October. We then fell away in November, but our main problems picked up, at the turn of the new year. From 2018, things went from bad to worse, and ultimately they have led to Arsene Wenger stepping down. But there's a lot of optimism and positivity going into the new campaign, a new era that is happening for Arsenal. But no matter what I've said about Arsene Wenger, and I keep saying this, and I keep coming back to the point, and I come back to it all the time. I have not been Arsene Wenger's biggest fan for the last couple of years. I've wanted him out, and I think he should have left, a couple of years ago at the very least. However, I will not, and you cannot take away, not a single Arsenal fan can take away what he's done, not just for Arsenal Football Club, but for the English game. And to be here and provide 22 years to service is a commendable achievement, a fabulous achievement, and we have to wish him well. And I will miss him. He's been the only manager I've known for my entire life. He's been at Arsenal longer than I've been born, and I've looked up to him on many, many occasions. It's unfortunate that he couldn't, leave Arsenal with a Premier League title or leave with ultimate glory, but, he leaves at a point where Arsenal, even though of such a bad state that they've been in at this particular moment, he leaves Arsenal with the optimism there, really, and, there's hope there, and I don't think to get Arsenal back to the top four, despite the fact of how many great teams, you got the Manchester clubs, Liverpool, Spurs, Chelsea, despite their problems at this particular moment. Arsenal, if they can just work and get their defence sorted, get their, CDM, replacement Patriera, get a new goalkeeper, and also just work on actually having some men on the field rather than little boys, then, we're back in business really. And I'm just looking at Arsene Wenger's managerial, statistics. 701 wins, 278 draws, 241 losses. It's just a total of 1,220 games. He managed 1,705 games for 4 clubs. He has managed 1,220 for Arsenal. I do apologise for that. A win percentage of 57%, and the trophies that he's acquired for Arsenal have been absolutely brilliant. You think of he's won 2 Charity Shields. 4 Community Shields. He has won 6 FA Cups, 3 Premier League titles and a Champions League final and a couple of Carabao Cup finals as well. An unbelievable, achievement at Arsenal Football Club. What he did, in terms of, the move from Highbury to the Emirates Stadium has been, just absolutely remarkable, incredible, really. And I do wish him all the best. I wish him all the happiness, healthiness, and success going into whatever he does in the future. And that is it, a Premier League season done, and we move on to the new era. We get over the World Cup first, we find out who the new manager is, and then we kind of go from there, really. And it's going to be an interesting season, an exciting season, and who knows, where we're going to be next season. If we look at the final Premier League position for Arsenal, going in and finishing off the Premier League season 2017-2018, so we have finished in 6th place. With 14 wins, we won 15 of those came at home. We only won 1 game away from home all season. Or no, 2 games. We won against Crystal Palace, Everton, and so yeah, I think we only won 2 games away. No, and Burnley. Sorry. So we won, against Burnley. So 3 of the 19 wins that we have acquired, we've picked up 16 wins at home, 3 away, 6 draws, 13 losses. The majority of those losses come in at home. We've only lost at home to Manchester City and Manchester United. So, kind of made a bit of a meal out of that. It's the end of the season. Do forgive me on that part. But that is it. That is the season done and dusted. And that is the first season of Analysing Arsenal done on my channel. I just want to say thank you so much for every single person that has watched Analysing Arsenal this season. I never intended to do this kind of series or kind of do these football kind of match previews or match review. I started the season, I missed the first 2 games of the season and was just, anticipating and predicting. I did a Premier League build-up series in the summer, but my kind of aim was just to kind of just do, general football reviews at the end of every month. And, we lost to Liverpool at Anfield on the 27th of August. I then made a video on Impulse, a rant video on Impulse, and uploaded that, and it took off. And then kind of the series went from there. I've only missed a couple of games here or there, whether it's been because of illness or going out. So, but I have definitely, I don't know, how many games have I revealed? How many episodes have we got in Analysing Arsenal? Let me have a look at my playlist quickly, ladies and gentlemen. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you to every single person that has watched, checked out, supported this series. So if we go over to Analysing Arsenal, which is going to be, let's have a look. Okay, it's there. So we've got 60 videos that we have made of Analysing Arsenal this season. And, I've just loved every single moment of it. I've really enjoyed doing this series. This series has become my most viewed series on the channel. So thank you so much for that. And I've got a lot of great ideas going into next season of Analysing Arsenal. Looking to match review every single game that Arsenal have of next season without fail. That's my intention, that's my plan. Whether I can execute that plan is a different story, or another matter, shall we say, but I will try and do that. I'm also looking to give you much more match previews. I've already done a couple of match previews this season. I want to do a match preview for every single Arsenal game and a match review for every single Arsenal game. And I'm also going to be working on a couple of extra bits for Analysing Arsenal, some really exciting stuff. I want to make Analysing Arsenal next season bigger and better than ever. And the first Analysing Arsenal of the new season will be when the news is confirmed of who is going to be Arsene Wenger's successor. In the meantime, I've got I'm going to be doing a Premier League season review, a match preview, and potentially a match review of the FA Cup and Champions League finals, respectively. Then Examining England will be at the centre of the World Cup, plus some additional World Cup content before Analysing Arsenal gets underway for the new season. So thank you to each and every one of you that have watched this season. And yeah, this is DJ Bagpuss signing out. Please make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and check out my great content as well. There will be one more Analysing Arsenal video for this season, and that will be an Arsenal season review that I will be doing at the end of the month. So stay tuned for that. But until the new season of Analysing Arsenal, I will be rejoining you for when we find out who is going to be Arsene Wenger's successor. Until next time, take care, and I shall speak to you all later. Take care, and I shall see you all very soon. Thank you very much, Arsene Wenger, for all your memories from 1996 to 2018. You have been a absolutely fabulous man, although your time is well and truly up. Have a good summer, everybody. See you next season.